So behind me, I have this 2020 International LT with a Cummins X15 engine, and I'm gonna go over how OTR Diagnostics is gonna give you the capabilities to take full ownership of this truck. So let's get started. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get OTR Link 2 connected to this truck, and what this uses is a 9-pin diagnostic plug, which is located right next to your foot at the kick panel on the side of the truck. So we're gonna go ahead and get it connected. We're gonna go ahead and make sure that the key is in the on position. Then we're gonna open up OTR Diagnostics to get connected to this truck. So I'm just gonna go show you that, and then we're gonna go to the dashboard and we're gonna check out OTR Diagnostics of what capabilities it gives us on this truck. So I made sure that the key is in the on position, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna open up OTR Diagnostics. Now I already have an account, I'm already logged in, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open up the app, and I'm gonna select my adapter. My adapter name is OTR Link 2, and then it's 410. That's my adapter. I'm gonna go ahead and select that adapter. If I haven't previously connected to this adapter, I would get the pairing request, and I would go ahead and just click pair if I haven't connected to this truck. Fair warning, this truck is currently in a Derate. It has a 5-mile-an-hour induced Derate right now. That's great for this video because we're actually gonna see what fault codes that is. So we're gonna go ahead, and on the dashboard, we have a couple different things. We have your fault codes, your active and inactive fault codes. We have your live data parameters that we track with OTR Diagnostics. And then we have some hot buttons. So we have commands, resetting fault codes, and then also doing a forced DPF regen. These are like the hot buttons that we get. If you wanna view all commands, you click the view all commands button. And we also have the capabilities to store your history. So all the history is stored in the cloud once you connect OTR Diagnostics to the truck, so that way you have a history of every fault code that was ever logged with OTR Diagnostics stored, so you can always reference that later for troubleshooting. So we're just gonna go to fault codes. We're gonna go over the active fault codes. So we're just gonna hit, instead of looking at all the fault codes, I'm just gonna go to the active fault codes and see what's active right now. So on this truck, it looks like we have an active fault code for our DEF tank level. We're gonna click that, and we get some more information. We're gonna go through the tank temperature. We also have fault codes for that. We also have tank heater. We have fault codes for that, and then we have a couple different fault codes in here with more information. So it looks like there's a lot of fault codes for inducement and different fault codes related to a Derate is what it looks like. So it looks like this truck is in Derate currently, and it looks like there's also some tire pressure monitoring system fault codes, as well as some instrument cluster fault codes. So with OTR Diagnostics, you're able to see all your active fault codes and inactive fault codes, and we kind of store that from every single module. So you'll be able to get a good picture of what's going on with this entire truck. So what we also are going to go through is the commands. We're going to go to reset fault codes. You got two different options here for resetting commands on this Cummins. We got reset generic codes, and we got reset Cummins codes, and this just does it at a dealer level. So we're just going to guide you through the process of resetting your fault codes. We're going to also see reset after treatment. So if you replace your DPF filter or your DOC filter, and you want to go ahead and tell the engine computer that you replace those filters, so it can go ahead and relearn and reset the parameters in the engine computer, and we give you that capability with OTR Diagnostics. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to see two different options: reset after treatment and also after treatment maintenance filter installation. So these are the same resets that you would use if you were to take your truck into a Cummins dealer. That's the same capabilities that we give you with OTR Diagnostics. Now you're also going to get access to be able to do a forced DPF regen. The interesting part with forced DPF regen is that we give you that capabilities to start the regen and stop the regen on this Cummins, and we also give you another type of regen which is called Force SCR Performance Test. And what that is it tests your after treatment system, the SCR side of it, to ensure that that's working as intended and it's not going to have any issues doing that. So sometimes certain fault codes require us to do different types of regens, and this is a great example for that. So if you have anything after treatment related or DEF related where the system needs a specific regen to run through its process in order for it to clear the fault codes. So that's where you would run the SCR performance test to go through and test the entire SCR system in order for it to clear any type of active fault codes. Now we're going to go ahead and go back, and we're going to go through the process of looking at all of our live data. So in our live data list, we have our accelerator pedal position, we have our ambient temperature, we have our barometric pressure, battery voltage, we have our soot load, we have DF fluid concentration, we have our intake pressure, our outlet pressure, EGR mass airflow rate, we have our EGR valve position. So we have different parameters, and we can continue down this list that we give you for Cummins, because there's a lot of different parameters that we are tracking. We also cover the odometer, NOx inlet, NOx outlet, And some of these sensor readings require the engine to be fully operating at the proper temperature, as well as making sure that the after-treatment system is hot. Specifically the inlet knock sensor and outlet knock sensor, usually the data will only come in after the sensors are, the engine's been running and the exhaust system is at up to temperature for it to start reading properly. We also covered engine total hours of operation, engine total fuel used, engine total idle hours, and we obviously have the odometer here for your reference as well. So with OTR Diagnostics, as again, we're going to go through our history. We're going to be able to see the history of all the fault codes that we've logged in OTR Diagnostics. This is going to give us the capabilities to really kind of understand what's going on with this truck and also report the information accurately, so that way when you need the information, you can always revert back and track that data, so that way you can see exactly what's going on. If you, let's say, reset the fault codes today and you come tomorrow and you want to see what fault codes you cleared, you have that capabilities with OTR Diagnostics. Now, OTR Diagnostics works across many engines, such as Volvo, Mack, Detroit Diesel, even PACCARs. So if you'd like to learn more about the coverage and capabilities that we have, you can visit otrperformance.com for the full coverage list. Thanks for watching.